Okay, this is the final video in our little series on Carcass programming. So Carcass programming, at the moment, with what I've showed you, there is nothing really different to learn per se in terms of using vcarve solely to program Carcass. Okay, drawing, it's very easy to draw. You know, you can draw squares, which could be gables, circles which can act as drawer, runners, drill holes, adjustable shelf stud holes, various other hardware. Tool paths again, nothing different really with Carcass. It's very simple. It's just simple drillings and then cutouts, and then the occasional extra thing. Maybe you might have a V groove to mark something, or you might have some funny cam hardware that you might use the CNC to work. So I'm going to go over briefly two methods with which to program Carcass. One being solely through vcarve alone, and the other then with the aid of another software package that we use called Polyboard. Okay, now I'll start with the vcarve version. So what one of the guys who works here has done was he has actually built up, it's just a vcarve file with no programs on it, but he's actually drawn some template parts, right? So he has his base one over here, for example. It shows where the drawer fronts will end up and where the drawer drillings and so on will be. But then he actually has a couple of different gables here. So that's a bin cabinet, that's a 3-drawer cabinet, the two top drawers being the same height. That's a double pot drawer, we'll call. There's just a cabinet with a door and a shelf. This will be a sink cabinet, that'll be a bit of a wall cabinet. It's a fridge cabinet, oven cabinet. And what he does is he has the basis for all his models for his kitchen in here. Now you can add more, you can take away some, you can change them, whatever else. But the idea is that you get your plan for your kitchen, and then you go cabinet by cabinet, and you just basically grab the parts here and stretch them up and down, just make sure the drillings are in the correct place, etc. And in the wind up then, you nest them like you did before with the doors. You go into the toolpaths tab then, and then you will make a toolpath template that is set to work on these drillings. If you look in here, we have loads of different layers. So, for example, V-drill 511, that would actually be all these holes are 5 mil wide, 11 mil deep. 5.2 is a 5 mil hole, but only 2 mil deep, and that's used for draw runners, for example, for here. You know, and there'd be an outer cut one, and there'd be a couple of other ones. The use of drawing jigs, as we call them, is common here. So there's various holes here at 32 mil centers. These are drillings for bottoms of gables. The idea being you grab this and then I'll just press move. You grab this and then you latch it on to the corner of something, and then that acts as a jig. The big square itself doesn't cut out. There's no layer on that for cutting out. It's actually just the drillings themselves. Here's one I made for corner hinge drillings on 2 doors, one that's hinged off the other. Here's a jig for J-handle doors. You just latch it on to somewhere. It's fairly handy. So yeah, and then yeah, I can't really say much more. There's nothing different. These here are actually drawer bases. We use 18 mil Carcass material for drawers. Most drawer kits actually require 16 mil board, so we actually have a rebate, 2 mil rebate on the bottoms of our drawers, such that we don't have to have another material. Just handy little things like that. So nothing you haven't seen before, just a slightly different approach to drawing. Yeah, and I think at first sight this might seem like, oh my god, there's a lot of work on this, but the guy who does this here, he is a gifted ad now, and he's had a couple of years now at this stage. He can program something through this method pretty much as fast as I can through Polyboard. Yeah, okay, I think that's it for there. I'm going to just quickly show Polyboard now, right? So Polyboard is actually a CAD design software, right? Here's a wardrobe that we're going to be doing soon. I've designed it. It has a bed, has some drawers under the bed, a little bedside locker, a little worktop here, and I'll open the doors here. As you can see, we got various drawers inside. We got hanging rails with hangers. The red here, I have that red that signifies edge tape. So if that you see that red, basically the material will be cut. I set it to cut 1 mil less, so when you add the tape, it's the true size of what you want it to be. If I was showing this to the customer, I'd quickly just turn off the red, such that it looks the same as the Carcass material. So what all of these are, if I go into the drawing version of it, in a nutshell, is all these little cabinets are CAD models, right? So I'll go into a real simple one, this drawer cabinet here, right? This is just a base cabinet. I have a funny name on it, it's my own naming system. Anyone can develop their own. So if I just go 3D on this and look through it, right? In each of all these little cabinets, they have all their own little drilling. So, you know, I got 3 mil drill holes. I have some drillings on the sides here for the drawer runners, etc. Simple things like that. I'll just open up the more complex cabinet, so maybe this one here, and I'll go 3D. As you can see now, I have the cabinet made in two halves per se. It has a base cabinet that has some drawers on the inside. It has the hinges on the doors. It has all the drillings for the shelves. I have to go and just do a little bit of work on that. It's solely been used for sales so far. When it comes to programming, I have a little checklist, you know, just check the shelves and just check the hardware is correct, etc. But what this will do, right, so I can put a full job together, i.e. like this, make it look pretty, and it will, when you set it up, I have it pretty much well set up now, it'll actually give you a price for all the material and hardware, which is quite good for estimating. It takes a bit of the time out of it. It will give you a list at the end of any hardware that's in it. So, you know, I'll need X amount of drawer runners, X amount of hinges, X amount of board. It's quite good for the ordering end of stuff and the quoting end of stuff. But what happens is all these CAD models export files, little DXF files. The DXF file is a drawing file, so I'm just going to export that now. I'm going to quickly open up a VCAR file, and I'm going to just bring in some of them and just quickly show nesting them. That's fine, yeah. This is just demonstration. So I use a gadget up here called DXF Batch Processor. I won't get too into it, but basically that will allow me to bring in loads of stuff. So Cambrian oak is the material, the Carcass material. Press OK. There's 123 files. All my various bits and bobs. So I'm just going to just delete this because that's the bed base, and I'm going to make that out two pieces. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick nest just so you can so I can show you how it kind of works. Just going to turn off that rotation. It takes a bit longer when there's a lot of parts to nest. Yeah, so there we go. Gosh, I have 12 sheets of Carcass, and actually that is a lovely nest. There is not much waste in there. Oh yeah, some of our drawers are cammed together. Very good, very good. So I'm just going to quickly throw my toolpath template on that. Oh god, pressed the wrong button. I'm going to quickly throw my toolpath template on that just so you can see how quickly I can go from that nice drawn to the CNC. Toolpath, show tab, load, and I will go into mine. No, not in there. Carcass, there we go. Polyboard Carcass. Press no because I need to create all the layers. All the layers are there now, so I'll delete that, bring it back in, and press yes. So I'll just pause that for a second. So as you can see, it brings in every one of my little toolpath templates, we'll say, and it tries to apply every one onto each sheet, but if it doesn't see a layer that matches, it doesn't apply it, and it'll delete it, and it'll only leave what's being used. See, look, it'll get rid of them here now. Sheet 4 will just have a few of them, yeah.